This is from Volume 2, page 510. Mary Magdalene in the house of Simon the Pharisee. It was written the 21st of January, 1944. To comfort me in my complex suffering and make me forget the wickedness of men, my Jesus grants me this sweet contemplation. I see a sumptuous hall. A many-branched candlestick is hanging in the center and is completely lit. The hall is hung with beautiful tapestry. There are magnificent pieces of furniture and chairs, inlaid and decorated with ivory and precious metal leaves. There is a large square table in the center, consisting of 4 tables assembled together. The table has been laid for many guests, all men, and is covered with beautiful tablecloths and very expensive tableware. There are valuable amphorae and cups, and many servants are moving around the table carrying dishes and pouring out wines. There is no one in the center of the square. I can see the magnificent floor which reflects the lights of the oil chandelier. Around the table there are many couches, all occupied by the guests. I appear to be in the half-dark corner at the end of the hall, near a door which is wide open, although screened by a heavy piece of tapestry hanging from its architrave. The landlord and the most important guests are on the opposite side, that is, the farthest side from the door. The landlord is elderly, wearing a wide white tunic tied around his waist by an embroidered belt. Round the collar, the cuffs, and the hem of the tunic there are strips of embroidered work, which have been attached as if they were embroidered ribbons or strips. But I do not like this expression. I do not like his expression. It is malicious, cold, proud, and greedy. On the opposite side, facing him, there is my Jesus. I see him sideways, almost from behind his back. He is wearing his usual white tunic, sandals, and his long hair is parted on his forehead. I see that both he and all the guests are not sitting up to the table, as I thought one would on those couches. Instead, they are reclined parallelly. In the vision of the wedding at Cana, I did not pay John is between the table and Jesus' body, with his elbow at the height of the Master's groin, so that he does not hinder him while eating, but if he wishes, he can lie confidently on his chest. There is no woman at the table. They are all talking, and the landlord now and again addresses Jesus with evident affected condescension. It is obvious that he wants to show him, and to all those present as well, that he has greatly honored him, a poor and rather hot-headed prophet, as many people consider him, by inviting him to his wealthy house. I see Jesus reply kindly and quietly. He smiles faintly at those who ask him questions, but his smile becomes brighter when John speaks to him, or even looks at him. I see the magnificent curtain covering the door space being raised, and a young woman come in. She is beautiful, sumptuously dressed, and her hair is splendidly arranged. The artistically interlaced locks of her very thick blonde hair form a beautiful ornament on her head. Her hair is so bright and abundant that she seems to be wearing a golden helmet wrought in relief. If I should have to compare the dress she has on with the ones I have always seen the Blessed Virgin Mary wear, I would say that it is very peculiar and complicated. There are buckles on the shoulders, jewels to hold together the pleats at the top of her breast, little gold chains to outline the breast, and the belt is adorned with studs and gems. It is a provoking dress, which emphasizes the features of her beautiful body. The veil on her head is so light that it veils nothing. It is an additional charm and nothing else. Her sandals are very expensive ones, of red leather with gold buckles and strips interlaced round her ankles. Everybody, except Jesus, turns round to look at her. John watches her for a moment, then looks at Jesus. The others stare at her with evident malicious avidity, but the woman does not look at them. Neither does she pay attention to the whispering that has arisen at her entrance, or to the winking of the people present, with the exception of Jesus and his disciple. Jesus pretends he has seen nothing. He continues his conversation with the landlord. The woman goes towards Jesus and kneels down at the feet of the Master. She lays on the floor a little vase, shaped like a pot-bellied amphora, takes off her veil after removing a long valuable pin, which fastened it to her hair, She removes the rings from her fingers and lays everything on the couch near Jesus' feet. She then takes his feet in her hands, first the right one, and then the left one, unlaces his sandals and lays them on the floor. She then kisses his feet, bursting into tears. She rests her forehead on them, caresses them, while tears stream down her face like drops of rain, shining in the light of the chandelier and wetting those adorable feet. Jesus turns his head round very slightly and slowly, and his deep eyes rest for a moment on the woman's reclined head, an absolving glance. He then looks again at the center of the hall, leaving her free in her outburst. But the others do not. They scoff, wink, and sneer. The Pharisee sits up for a moment to have a better view, and his eyes express desire, vexation, and irony. He desires the woman, and that feeling is evident. He is vexed because she has come in so freely, which may cause others to think that she is a habitual guest in the house, and he is ironical with regard to Jesus. But the woman is not aware of anything. She continues to shed torrents of tears, noiselessly. She weeps now and again, and she sobs. She then lets her hair down after removing the golden hairpins which held up her complicated hairdress, and she puts also the hairpins near the rings and the long veil pin. Her golden locks roll down her back. She takes them with both hands, brings them in front of her, and rubs them on Jesus' wet feet until she sees that they are dry. She dips her fingers in the little vase and takes out a yellowish, highly scented ointment. A sweet-smelling perfume, a mixture of lily and tuberose, spreads throughout the hall. The woman uses it profusely. She spreads it, kissing and caressing his feet at the same time. Jesus looks at her now and again with so much loving pity. John, who looked round in amazement when she burst into tears, cannot detach his eyes from Jesus and the woman, and looks at them alternately. The face of the Pharisee has become more and more sullen. I now hear the well-known words of the gospel, and I hear them uttered in a tone and with a look which cause the old resentful man to lower his head. I hear the words absolving the woman, who goes away leaving her jewels at Jesus' feet. She has tied her veil round her head, thus gathering together her disheveled hair as best she can. Jesus, while saying to her, "Go in peace," lays his hand on her reclined head for a moment, a very gentle gesture.